Do you like basketball? Basketball, no. I like, but I'm not good at. Yes, I'm not.
Me too.
The second this gets to like 45 minutes, we're cool. I mean, talk about fucking slop season, dude. So yeah, if we want to do 15 minutes on the end of winter and how that makes me feel, that's totally fine. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Jack, a.k.a. Jokic Joestar. With me, as always, the world-famous Pablo Escobar, and welcome back to the State of the League podcast, the only NBA podcast that, at this point, I believe we'll have clickbaited the Boston Celtics in 3 straight weeks, because we're doing it again today, and it was the thumbnail for the last 2 pods as well.
We're more consistent than they are at this point.
Hey, so yeah, it's a calm 50 degrees, sunny outside. The date is what?
Just so you guys know, he described that as a nice day. He
It's a nice. I mean, jeez,
he described it as a nice day. I mean, this is not really a day that's typical with fall or winter, right?
First of all, this is
degrees.
an extremely typical fall day, which is my favorite season. And I also like spring more than winter. I just want to be on the record saying anybody who's like, oh, my favorite season's one of the good seasons. That's clearly not the debate. The debate is not like, oh, are you happy when it's temperate outside? Are you happy when it's nice and the weather's good? No, it's just which shit weather would you prefer? And I would prefer to be cold than being fucking boiled alive. However, we're on the downslope, you know? I feel like we've hit the peak of winter, and February always sucks for like you're coming down off it, and then it's just like boom, 20 degrees for another week or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. The times are changing. How you doing today?
I got English breakfast tea, and hey, I got a mug that you would like.
Let me see.
Let's see if I could pull this without burning my hand.
Only a mother could love.
Oh my gourd, it's fall.
That's so stupid. Oh man.
I'm drinking English breakfast tea.
What does
Trump
that
may
mean?
have paused EBT, but he didn't pause my EBT.
What is
he
did
did
English...
pause my insurance. I am insuranceless. Just for the record.
I mean, yeah, like everything else, yeah, but my EBT.
But I got my tea.
Fuck, what was I just about to say? What is English breakfast tea? Like, what flavor is that?
It's English breakfast tea. It's I buy tea leaves. I'm deep in the tea game.
Yeah.
And so I don't know how to describe it to you. It's probably what you would. It's the most common tea, I think. It's what you would probably associate. It's black tea.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like Irish
people.
Irish breakfast tea, which makes me feel like a traitor saying that, but I don't like it. Scottish breakfast tea is solid, but English breakfast tea.
So is this caffeinated? Wonderful. Is that why they drink it with breakfast, or what?
I think it is, but I mean, I don't know why it's called breakfast tea. I think this is the tea that they just drink all day long. That they, when the footy goes to halftime, they pop open the kettle.
Yeah, right. Those fucking swollen red fucks. They're popping open a keg, more like it. I'm just sipping on water today mostly. I had, essentially an entire pot of coffee all to myself. My girlfriend has the day off, so I made enough coffee for us both to have some. But then she went to the museum while I was doing podcast prep, and I looked over, and wouldn't you know it, her coffee mug was still like 90% full. So I drank the rest of that, and then I had a few more cups myself. And since then, I've been pounding water, and I'm really in the zone right now. I'm not shaky at all, but I'm like up, and I'm good.
She was probably shopping at the museum, right?
Yes, she was shopping at the museum for, what was it, vacuums and purses?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got her.
Yeah, she was... Got her, wow. God, I mean, this is just the absolute apex of podcasting, what we're going to be doing today. So, yeah, I guess, I don't know. The Celtics have been, we're just copying Bill Simmons. That's mostly the move. if Bill Simmons feels justified in panicking about the Boston Celtics, then so do I.
he will panic at the smallest instance possible. He's that type of fan, which I think is pretty common, where it's like when you're up, you're like irrationally up, and you're like, we're the GOATs, we're the greatest ever. How come people, like, remember after they won the championship, he's like, he was in disbelief. How come people aren't recognizing Tatum as the best player in the world? How come
It was it was like we got to the Olympics and he was like, wait, LeBron's getting the shots and not Tatum? Tatum just won the
this
championship.
is not fair.
What the fuck, you guys? So, yeah, that was a real highlight of the offseason. I feel like that'll probably get lost to time. That won't necessarily be part of the 2024 Olympics doc, but it was a story. Like, if you listen to the Bill Simmons pod and you were listening to it while the Olympics were going on, he was pissed week by week. And, like, it started in the whatever the pre-trials are, where like the role was not as big as he expected for Tatum, and then like week by week as it was just like, 15 minutes, 12 minutes, oh shit, 8 minutes, oh damn, he didn't play today. Yeah, it was very funny.
What made it so much better is he has a long record of being the Olympics guy. He cares way more than anyone else. He thinks it matters way more. He's always like, you could kind of tell the guy on the Olympics team is the guy everyone recognizes as the guy. And this is, I don't know, he wasn't the guy on the do I want Booker playing 10 minutes in the Olympics? He's not the guy. And
He's
then
not
for
the guy.
for him to fall victim to his own thing that nobody else cares about except for him. It's like he accidentally built his own cage.
Oh my god.
But you say no one will remember. Don't worry, as long as we have those freaks over at the Bill Simmons r/Bill Simmons podcast,
I mean,
it'll live on forever.
What fucking lunacy, dude. Shout out to
I love some of the tweets, but they are psychotic. Dude, I do not want to be within 1,000 miles of that guy.
like if Bill Simmons ever went on his podcast and was like, that account actually makes me uncomfortable. Like I like knowing someone out there is following me to this degree. It just doesn't make me feel good. I would be like, totally, you say some crazy shit sometimes, Bill. That's totally fair. Like this is an insane amount of dedication. But yeah. So those people, it's just funny the stuff they circle back on. Where it's like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, they'll circle back on like him being like, I think Jalen Green's pretty good, I just like what I'm seeing from Jalen Green lately, and they'll be like, oh wow, well now Jalen Green's shooting 20% from the field. Don't you feel fucking stupid, Bill? It's like, it's weird because some of them are funny, but then some of them are straight up like hostile, don't take this guy seriously, he's a fraud reporter kind of thing.
When you listen to Bill Simmons consistently, you do kind of need an outlet for just to see if other people are in on, like, if other people see what you're saying, like they recognize how psychotic Bill Simmons is. But it gets to a point, like we don't need it. We don't need the beat. We don't need the Bill Simmons beat. It's like, oh, I'm covering San Francisco. Oh, I'm on Chicago. I'm on Boston. What are you on? Oh, I'm on Bill Simmons' podcast.
I'm on Bill Simmons. So, yeah, whatever Bill Simmons is on, tangentially, that's what I'm on. I don't have any thoughts of my own.
You do know he liked James Young in the 2013 draft, right? So,
yeah, I haven't gotten to listen to it yet, but they did a trade value rankings pod. Where Russillo, the clip that showed up on my timeline was Russillo arguing that Jason Tatum has more trade value than Giannis Antetokounmpo right now. And
really, Russillo's not crazy like Bill, and he has stuff that I disagree with, but he's not like psycho irrational. So I'll be interested to hear what his rationale is.
I don't know. He's like, we've talked about him before, how him like grinding tape is just like watching the game with his notes app open or whatever. And so maybe
he monitors the rotations.
Yeah. The first like month and a half of the season, Tatum was playing as well as anybody. It's just like, to say that now, it's just such a weird time to plant that flag. Which, okay, I suppose that leads us into the actual topic of today's video. The Celtics, not really looking Celtics pilled as of late.
Yeah. So your thing is turnovers don't matter, right?
Yes.
My thing, contender slumps in January don't matter, or December, or honestly, I feel like this. I have a long, extensive history of being a LeBron hater. Like when I was a kid, my passion was really burning, and so
I would give anything in the world to be able to go talk to 14-year-old Pablo and just be dude, what does the 2011 finals mean to you?
Oh God, I was like every person crying about the Chiefs right now. It's not fair. Except I wasn't a middle school teacher like that one guy. Did you see the Esquire Sports video that he did on the teacher?
No, I didn't see that.
He Michael from Esquire Sports, he posted a video reacting to, there's a middle school teacher who's posting a video breaking down how the Chiefs are unfair and they're cheating and the NFL's rigging it. And he's Michael's you're a middle school teacher. This is not good. I don't want this guy you might be a good teacher, but I don't feel good knowing that this guy is in the school.
Just to know that you have this amount of intellectual dishonesty within you. Yeah, it makes me nervous, and you being in charge of a generation of kids.
How many YouTube videos are you away from thinking the Trail of Tears was made up, and they had motorcycles?
Well, Doritos actually perpetrates the Trail of Tears myth, so that they could sell more chips.
But yeah, so part of being a LeBron hater growing up was LeBron teams would always go through these midseason slumps where things look horrible. It happened in Miami. It happened in Cleveland. It happened in the Lakers. And what would happen, how I felt it was they would tear down the team as much as possible. They would go through these slumps and be like, he's got nothing around him. This team is trash. They're not going to accomplish a single thing. Then the switch flips in the playoffs, and they go, this is the greatest guy. Remember how much we hated his supporting cast in the regular season? Remember Kyle Korver in the middle of the season? This guy, he can't do anything but shoot. Now in the playoffs, LeBron is making Kyle Korver viable. This is incredible. And so that's how I felt it always would go. So a slump like this does not feel new. I feel like we get slumps like this all the time. Maybe... Did the Warriors ever go through one? I actually, there were even with the Kevin Durant years, there was some point where they weren't as indestructible, and people were like, I would listen to Kevin Artovitz and Zach Lowe. Maybe they didn't have this take specifically, but those type of people, they'd be like, net ratings not as high. I mean, historically, teams don't really. Teams like this, they historically don't do well in the playoffs. I'm like, it's Kevin Durant, and I felt the same way with when people would be like the 2015-16 Hawks. They'd be like, well, statistically, teams in the past that have had these metrics, they do exceptionally well. And when you these were real takes. There were people who were so dweeb-pilled they thought the Hawks could beat LeBron's Cavs in the playoffs, sick. and it's and
those people would probably love the Celtics. I mean, what the Celtics have been, not the Celtics lately, but they would probably fuck with a lot of the Celtics versions.
Yeah, sometimes basketball is as simple as, oh, who's the best player on that team? Oh, it's a toss-up between Jeff Teague and Al Horford.
Sometimes it's Paul Millsap if you get the right matchup.
Don't count out Damari Carroll on the right. No. Oh, who's the best player on their opponent? Oh, it's LeBron James.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, who's the second? Oh, it's Kyrie.
Oh, shit, it's Kyrie Irving.
Oh, Kevin Love is there. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, when I was on when I did the D. Lee Hawks pod after they played the Nuggets the second time, we were talking about old iterations of the Nuggets, and I like threw a shot at like old man Al Horford, and Dealey's face. I should go clip it. It seemed like he
Horford or Paul Millsap?
Millsap, my fault. And so I was like, yeah, old man Millsap could barely function back then. And Dealey's face, he was just like, don't talk bad about Paul Millsap, dude. That's not funny. He was so good. He was so good for us. So yeah,
one of the great second round picks ever.
Yeah, absolutely. And he was genuinely a good player. But I do. Your point is correct. Where it's like Al Horford or LeBron James, you can kind of make up your mind. Would that have led me to be like they get swept? It's not competitive the entire time. Probably not. Like I trust the numbers to some degree, but especially before, and I don't remember. Obviously, like Kyle Korver was insane at shooting on the Hawks. Do you remember what they were as like a 3-point shooting team in those years?
I believe they were at the top. I think they were like right with the Warriors.
That's so crazy.
Because Korver was, he shot like 50%, and it was like he was shooting like Jokic's numbers right now, but it was way more powerful back then.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, but now that I think about it, I feel in my mind they were at the top in all the offensive metrics. But when I think about the lineup, Teague was never a great 3-point shooter. I don't think Horford was shooting threes back then. So
no.
do you have it pulled up?
Yeah. So in 2015, which is the 60-win 4 All-Star season, 2015 they were really, really good. They were 5th in 3-pointers made, 7th in attempts, 2nd in percentage at 38%. And so that's surprising that they get swept by Cleveland. That just like lends itself. You think they get a hot shooting game in there. And obviously I haven't gone back and rewatched Hawks Cavs in a minute. But
well, the police broke Thabo Cephalosha's leg.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
what it is.
He couldn't shut down LeBron.
Shit. Okay, what do you think they shot from 3 over the course of those 4 games? 38% in the regular season. They get swept versus
against
the Cavs.
Cleveland?
Yeah, what do you think they shot in that series?
Well, now you're saying it like this, so I'm going to say like 25. Is it really, really bad?
23%. Oh, that is so crazy, dude. Oh, my God. Yeah, 26
Wouldn't have gone down like that if Thabo was there.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, LeBron would have had to work more. I don't know. But, hey, that's the police state for you. They prop up LeBron James. They go hand in hand. He's a fascist leader.
Yep.
That's probably 14-year-old Pablo, I would assume.
Oh my God, you have no clue how much I was. The police are on his side. It's the state.
It's the state. I mean, truly the most.
Never forget the story of Jesus. The hero was killed by the state.
Oh, okay. So Thabo Cephalosha's Jesus. That's. I see the vision. He did not.
The state's the enemy. So
yeah. Fuck, I was just about to say so. Oh, the Heat do have the most like fascist aesthetics in sports, and so I kind of get what you mean there, where it's like just these huge black and red monuments with like flames and all this other shit, and it's just like, yeah.
Did you see the Chiefs and the NFL? Like they aren't going to use. They're going to have to be like super careful about their three-peat branding because apparently Pat Riley owns a bunch of the trademarks to 3P.
Oh my God.
And like the language around it.
Well, that's just American ingenuity right there. Just kind of thinking, I mean, truly thinking of something that nobody else has thought to trademark yet and getting in on the ground floor. That's how you should, that's being a savvy businessman. So yeah.
So who had the first 3-peat ever? Was it the Lakers?
I would assume it was the Celtics. I mean, I don't know if they branded it as a 3-peat, but when they won 11 championships, I would assume that's like a 5-peat in there somewhere.
Okay, so the term, what is this word? A portmanteau? P-O-R-T-M-A.
That's like a group or a collection. I've heard it used like in phrases, but I don't know the definition.
That's crazy. I've never seen that word ever. The term, a portmanteau of the words 3 and repeat, originated with the Los Angeles Lakers during their unsuccessful campaign for a 3rd consecutive championship during the 88-89 season, having won 2 previous finals. So yeah, I guess the Bulls were the first ever team to three-peat. That's great. How did Bill Russell win 11 but never 3 in a row?
I would assume that the word three-peat was not a thing. I would assume that is like the cutoff standard that we're using. Let me look up Bill Russell and just see. Oh, Bull Russell. Hell no, dude. Come on.
Idiot.
Fucking hell, I can't spell. Okay, so they won championships in. Okay, yeah, so they won in 1957. Then they lose in 58. Then from 59 to 66.
Oh, yeah, I'm
they
looking
win
at the-
7 straight championships. Or yeah, 7, and then they win 2 more after that. So he won.
Harder to brand.
Yeah, 7, Pete. I mean, come on.
Lucky number 7. Yeah.
Maybe something like that. Okay. So fuck. What was I just about to say? Something about the Celtics. Okay. So yeah, let's run through this. The Celtics not so hot as of late. They are 12-11 over their last 24 games, and they have losses. I have a long list of embarrassing losses here. So they just blew a 12-point fourth quarter lead to the Houston Rockets, a Men Thompson game winner, literally on Giannis' trajectory. I don't know if you've seen any of that.
Oh yeah, baby.
They get obliterated by the Lakers. They go to overtime with Kevin Porter Jr. and the LA Clippers. They did win that game, so that's not a loss, but a 10-point fourth quarter lead to the Hawks. They lose in overtime there. They lose to the Raptors. They lost to the Kings, where they got outscored 38-21 in the fourth quarter. They lost to the 76ers on Christmas. That's Embiid. That's, literally the MVP. They lost to the Magic without Pablo or Franz. And then going all the way back to that Bulls loss where Levine scored 36 points and just kind of nuked them. Yeah, it's a long, run of really not championship level play. And I agree with a lot of the stuff that you said where like slumps happen. It is what it is. And when a team is as good as the Celtics were last season, we are always kind of looking for like a way, like something to react on that front. Just like a dip in all-time level dominant production. To me, it feels a little bit more than that. And while they do have the advantage of, like, when I was going through this stuff, I kept thinking back to the way people would talk about the Nuggets post-championship, and they would kind of paste over any problems that arose in the roster or any low-level play with just, well, they have Jokic and Jamal will be good, and just, like, I don't know, kind of throwaway phrases that ignored real problems in the roster. The Celtics don't have to go through the West. They will probably have, if not an easy first 2 rounds, at least an easy first round. And so that's like a huge advantage that they have. But still, I don't know. I'm more concerned than you are at this point.
So let's see. Which game should we say that this started? This bad streak started, so I could check the cleaning the glass stats going back.
I don't even know how to filter with games on cleaning the glass. I'm genuinely, as a guy who pays $5 for cleaning the glass, I do not know how to use it at all.
I'll just say I'll go to this Memphis loss on December 7th. So
Memphis
we'll
is a
see.
good team. I think that is where I cut mine off, was December 7th.
Because that's when the long string of green W's ends, and there's a lot more red being mixed in.
Yes.
So
Red's bad.
If we apply these filters, let's check out how the Boston Celtics rank in a lot of different categories. Okay. Well, why did they take away some of my options? All right,
I don't know.
You do some more yapping while I figure
Oh
this
my
out.
god. Okay. So I have a number of things that are down across the board, or just problems.
Oh.
So shooting is a big thing here in this stretch since that December 7th loss to the Grizzlies. Tatum, 32% on 10 attempts a game from 3. Brown, 30% on 5 attempts. Derek White, 34% on 9 attempts. Al Horford, 29% on 5 attempts. Drew Holiday, 37% on 5 attempts. And so he individually fine. But when you talk about like all of their big rotation players from last season, Porzingis is still shooting really well when he plays. But beyond that, it's just been really, really rough as like a 3-point shooting team, and they haven't gotten the production out of Tatum and Brown to really truly supplement that. And it's led to them getting into a lot of like uncomfortable late game situations where they have not been super, big nuts dominant. Do you have the cleaning the glass thing open yet, or do I gotta keep fucking rambling?
All right. So since that day, they're still first in 3-point frequency in the league.
All of their advanced stuff, let me just say that before you go. Pretty much all their shit still looks good. They're like 4th in defense, 5th or 6th in offense, 3rd in net rating during this span. Like a lot of it still looks really good statistically. So vibes check is what I'm working with. But you keep going.
So 3-point accuracy, they are down to 19th. They're shooting 35.6% since then. So I feel like any struggles, it might be as simple as that. Like the heaviest 3-point reliant team in the NBA is just shooting threes at the rate of a bad team, and so they're missing out. But let's see, at the rim during this stretch, they're still good. They're still 7th. From mid range, they are. Let's see. Oh crap, we're scrolling a lot. Okay, so they're 24th in mid-range. So really, they're just missing all their jumpers everywhere.
Yeah, and that bears out to the eye test, the mid-range thing as well, where it's just, I don't know. The next thing I wrote down was about just the division of labor between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I don't really like that much right now. I don't think it should be, like, I get you're doing the regular season thing. You don't want to grind Tatum down. You want everybody to be fresh and good to go for the playoffs. And you're playing the politics of it all. Where, like, Jaylen Brown didn't make Team USA, blah, blah, blah. You need to make it feel like there's 2 All-Stars on the team. Jaylen Brown has not been as good, nearly as good, as Tatum this season. He's been really, really rough. And it feels like, I don't know, when they kind of turn to Jaylen Brown and be like, hey, it's your time to cook, doesn't feel like that much good stuff happens. It often feels like really empty, wasted possessions.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, and this is like, I don't know how meaningful it is. So Peyton Pritchard is a good offensive player for them, right?
Yes.
And they over the course of this stretch, like they're still a good defensive team. Like last 15 games, they're still 3rd in the league at defensive rating. So defense isn't really as big of an issue. But I couldn't help but notice in that Rockets game, a lot of the reason Amen Thompson had success was because of Peyton Pritchard. Like you would think with a team like Boston, a guy like that shouldn't be able to do that to you. Like a guy who has no real jump shot, like he shouldn't be able to get downhill that much.
You're the wings team. You're the team with all the wings.
Yeah. And I feel like Peyton Pritchard was a problem. Like he could be attacked and exploited, and like it didn't matter if he gave Amen Thompson space. Amen Thompson was getting right by it and stuff like that. And when he has to go into help defense, he's just not a playmaker or anything like that. So part of the struggle for them is like just a lot of these guys who aren't their star players are like just struggling. And so we think of like Derek White as like this pseudo all-star, but when he's not shooting well, then he's just like Alex Caruso kind of.
Well, I would say he's been, like, if you want to call him Chicago Caruso, that's fine. But like Caruso this year, even the worst shooting version of Derek White has been so much better offensively than what Caruso has been in OKC.
Oh, in OKC, yeah.
Yeah. But like in Chicago, I mean, we were talking like elite defender, 10 to 12 points per game, solid passer, doesn't really space the floor that well. But in OKC, Caruso's just been so rough that like I take a little exception to it, but I did write that down as well, where it's just like Derek White, not just the 3-point percentage being down, but specifically in the fourth quarter of these games, he's 31% from 3, and it feels like the more close Celtics games I watch, just the more I've seen them look to him to make shots. Like, he's routinely the guy that they've relied on to be like the kick-out guy, where Tatum or Brown gets to the paint. You have a wide-open Derek White 3, and that's been one of the most productive shots in basketball for a long time. And it has not gone down in these fourth quarters. And it's not that teams aren't still respecting it. Like, everybody's closing out, so you still get the gravity from it, or whatever you want to call. But yeah, it feels like something that has really neutered what has been such a reliable clutch offense over the past year and a half.
Yeah, so here's his month-by-month statistics. So in October, only 5 games, but he was 19, 4, and 4 on 73% true shooting. What a start to the year for him. Next month, 18, 5, and 5. So little down to 61% true shooting.
Yeah.
December comes, 15, 5, and 5 on 57% true shooting. All right, we're dipping a little further deep. This month, 12 games in January, 14, 4, and 3 on 52% true shooting, 38 from the field, 31 from 3. So yeah, when and it's just exacerbated because I know Drew Holiday is struggling as well.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to pull up his numbers, and so when you have both of these guys who are just like Javon Carter, no, then it makes things you go less from the well-oiled machine to crap. A lot of this depends on Jason Tatum, huh? I thought we were the depth team, not the top-heavy team.
Yeah, and so yeah, it just kind of results in them trotting out like a ton of different lineups. That's where we've been trending lately, I feel like, is, and I don't have anything written down about this, but it just feels like they're starting to throw out rotations that, you know, it's fine. You have a big enough lead on like the rest of the conference that really this losing stuff doesn't matter that much. The East is dog shit. You will end up like a top 3-ish seed or whatever. You don't have to worry about it. You have wiggle room to try out new combinations of players. It's just for a team that's trying to repeat and really had like a very solid established rotation last year. Like, I felt like we walked away from that title run being like, this is the most well-constructed top 7 in the league. And now they're like, you know, how much can we get out of Nemias Cato? Like, we're really running him out there trying to like find something that sticks, or Xavier Tillman or whatever. And it's just, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make me more confident in them, even though, like I said, none of this is canon, none of this matters. Like, we're just talking to talk before the trade deadline, I feel like.
You had your Paul Millsap moment with Dealey. I had the opposite moment where we were talking about the Celtics struggles then, which is like 2 weeks ago or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, they're throwing out guys who aren't real NBA players, Nemias Queta," and I was like,
Calm down. That's too far. It's just, it's not even that he's not a real NBA player. It's just like they're throwing him out in situations where it's like, oh, okay, we Kate minutes now, and asking him to do things like to me, it's very clear what he's good. Like, just traditional big man shit. Let him be the normal big. Let him pick and roll. Let him try to rebound and block shots and everything, and he'll be a productive player. He at least won't be like the reason you lose minutes, but feels like they've been throwing out a lot of too big stuff, just trying to figure it out, and it hasn't worked as much as I'd like, which, I don't know. Al Horford looks pretty fucking old lately too, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but the rules don't apply to him. Regular logic doesn't apply, because I kind of thought he was done last year, or he wouldn't hold up in the playoffs, but it didn't matter. Let me see. I want to see, like, so the Celtics have won 32 games so far.
Mm-hmm.
If they didn't win a game for the rest of the season, would they still make the playoffs in the East?
They'd probably make the play-in.
So last year the play-in was 36 games. So we would have to think like
last year's
the Bulls
East is not this year's East.
The Bulls are at the 10 spot right now.
And
so
trying to sell. Like, actively trying to get rid of good players.
Well, we'll see. Don't put past anything. Don't put anything past that caveman animal monster. They have 20 wins. Are they getting to 32 by the end of the year?
It depends what the caveman does, I suppose, because I do like if you sell Levine and you sell Vooch, and really the way they've made it seem in the reports that everybody but what's his nuts? Damn, is it Kobe White was untouchable? Someone was untouchable, and then everyone else was like available on the roster. And
probably Giddey's untouchable.
yeah, maybe that was it. But if they really sell on all the guys who even contribute to wins, like when you look around the league, a lot of the quote unquote facilitation moves are always like the Bulls get garbage and someone gets Torrey Craig and Javon Carter for free. And like that's helping to grease the wheels on a lot of different moves around the league on like the trade machine or whatever. If they do that, if they sell on all those guys, yeah, sure. I mean, they could win 25 games maybe, and I don't know.
How about Philadelphia? They have 18 wins right now. Do they have a chance at 32?
So they have to win. How many games are left?
There's 47 games have been played so far for.
So that's what,
for the
30,
Bulls.
35? Okay, let me.
Well, wait, what's 18 plus 27? 45, yeah.
18 plus 27 equals 40. So there's been 45 games played.
God, that was impressive by me.
Jeez, what a fucking dunk. 37 games left. The Sixers would need to win 14 of those to go into to hit that 36 win spot.
No, 32 we're going for.
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's still they have 18 wins right now.
Yeah.
So they need 14 more. I don't think that's going to happen. Do you? I mean, they just beat the Lakers maxi like 40 last night or whatever, but it does. You get the feeling that it's over more than it's not.
I don't know. So really, even the point that it's a question, like Celtics are probably fine.
The point that if they
what.
never win again, they'll probably maybe still make the play. I think they will win again. Actually, they've only been
and Atlanta just lost Jalen Johnson for the year.
Yeah, holy shit, what a nightmare, dude. Speaking of D. Lee, shout out to that guy. Like what purgatory to be in. Just like, oh, we have an all-star. Oh, there's literally no other all-star members in the East front court. We could do this year. 2010 and 5, that's fine. And he's got season-ending shoulder surgery. So, yeah, that's pretty tough. Yeah. So, what does all of this mean? Do you think... Okay, is there any way the Celtics could get you to worry? Is there anything that could happen that would make you... Like, that transcends slump, in your terminology, into concerning stretch or whatever?
Injuries. Injuries would be a problem, but it would be difficult in general just because I have such caveman brain when it comes to them, because literally everyone could stay in a slump for the rest of the regular season, and I'd be like, well, they'll flip the switch.
Yeah.
They don't really care about the regular season. And but yeah, but even if like Porzingis went down for the year, I have caveman brain.
They already won without Porzingis.
They missed with Porzingis. They won without Porzingis last year. Why would I care? But like injury to Tatum, then I'm like, yeah, they're definitely vulnerable. Injury to Brown. Even if they lost only one of White and Holiday, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I'd be less worried. If they lost both of those guys, I'd be like, oh crap, that's a lot of Peyton Pritchard in the playoffs guarding Garland, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's one thing I've thought about is just like, okay, if we want to, like, if again looking back to the Nuggets run and everything, not to be complete Nuggets brain, but like that is, I do feel like we've done this before, where it's like They're the best. They're a dynasty. They're invincible.
I don't care about Jamal bad in the regular
Yeah.
season. I'll worry when he's bad in the playoffs a year later. I'm worried. I'm never gonna see good Jamal Murray in the playoffs ever again.
Man. Yeah. If you could trade Jamal Murray for Jordan Poole right now, and it's like,
Oh,
it would be, dude. Jordan Poole, he's been hooping, but I got to stand by my guy. But like, so when I think about what that narrative might look like for the Celtics team if we did the same thing, I can see this world where it's like Jaylen Brown eats shit in the playoffs 2 years ago, and everyone dunks on him, $600 million extension or whatever, and he doesn't have a left hand and he can't shoot and all this other stuff. Comes back last postseason, fix it. We're cool. We're good with everything. He's good again. He's an all-star, all-NBA level guy. I could see him not being good in these playoffs and everybody just immediately pivoting back to like, okay, well, yeah, obviously the Celtics weren't going to win because Brown had been bad for the entire regular season leading up to that point, which he really, 30% from three in this stretch. And if you thought some of the Cade Cunningham turnovers were bad, I do Pablo specifically, go watch Jaylen Brown's turnovers. It is fucking crazy for a guy who is just trying to make the right play. And I don't want to dunk on him too hard because it is just dribbling or dumb rotation passes. It's not like Cade where he's 4D chessing himself into passing to the other team very easily. It's just throws a pass to the big man that sails out of bounds, tries to dribble into the paint, throws it off his foot or the defender's foot or something, just completely loses it. The handle's been really rough. And then on top of that, once I hate every possession where he pump fakes for a mid-range at the top of the key in the paint. None of it feels good to me. And so I feel like that is a path forward to the Celtics being less potent than they were last year. If he can't shoot and struggles as much as he has offensively in this past little stretch of 20 games, that's a quarter of the season. That doesn't feel like the same Celtics team to me as last year.
Part of why they stick out as so dominant in my mind as so loser proof is that
the Titanic.
Jaylen Brown wasn't even that good last year.
Mm-hmm.
In the finals, he averaged 21, 5 and 5 on 54%.
It was literally
shooting.
just Tatum was so bad at jump shooting that they're someone's got to win the trophy. He's clamping Luka right now. I don't know.
Yeah, Tatum shot 10 of 38 from 3. Brown shot 8 of 34. So he was actually worse from 3-point shooting.
Mm-hmm.
It must have been the mid range that got him. Oh, and at the rim probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jaylen Brown wasn't even that good in the finals. He was good in the Pacers series, right? I'm pulling up.
I believe so. Yeah, I'm looking at his full postseason stats right now. I guess I did.
The total picture is good.
Yeah. So for the full postseason, and I would assume the finals really fucked his 3-point shooting here. 24, 6, and 3 on 52% from the field, 33% from 3. And then 66% from the free throw line. And so the 3-point shooting in the finals, it was such a blowout that I guess it didn't stick. It didn't matter that he wasn't shooting well. And then before that, I would assume his percentages were pretty solid. But, yeah, I don't know. So, if he plays mid and Derek White isn't a borderline all-star, because I do feel like that was another, insane postseason run from him last year. He had 2 separate series where he was 18 points per game on crazy shooting, crazy true shooting, all of that shit, while genuinely being I like Drew Holiday and they stick together in my mind as a defensive tandem, but the shit Derek White was doing on the ball last year was just oh damn, this guy is a small time all-star. You do get half of his minutes are him just dribbling the basketball and creating shit. And that really hasn't been at that level over the past 20 whatever games.
Yeah. So Brown and Tatum were both good. They were both pretty good against Indy, and then
Against the
Brown
team with
Brown
no
did
players.
Brown did really kill Cleveland, like 23 on 68% true shooting.
Oh, what a guy!
And then let's see what was going on in Miami against Miami. Where is he? Oh, he's at the top here. Okay, where's Jason Tatum? Oh, okay. This is Derek White. Derek White averaged 22 against Miami. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, it's just interesting. It's like they are like the Titanic. They're too big to fail. So what are they gonna do? Run into an iceberg? Where's the iceberg?
What if the iceberg I wrote down was would it move you? So painting the picture here. Porzingis is healthy, but Jaylen Brown and Derek White are kind of mid, and Cleveland has, let's say, 2 of the 3 best players in the series. Would you be worried if you're the Celtics?
Who are the 2?
Let's say you get like genuinely crazy Donovan Mitchell rise and Evan Mobley nuke.
Okay, if I get Evan Mobley nuke, that's a combo that that worries me. But still, I would probably bet the Celtics 10 times out of 10, just because. It comes down to weakness on offense versus weakness on defense. Ignore on which one is it? Ignore on offense versus attack on defense.
And even Brown and White, for like all the bad stuff I've said, will never be an ignore on offense guy.
No, they'll never be attack on defense.
Well, that's what I mean. No, obviously that. I'm just saying. So, like, when you're weighing those in your mind, who are you saying would be ignored on offense, and who, like Garland, obviously, I assume is the attacked on defense guy that you're thinking about.
Yeah. When it comes to the Celtics, like I think Drew Holiday could have a series where it's like don't close out to him from 3, and Derek White too. Like if he was just stinking it up, don't close out to him. But I can't see a series where you feel comfortable attacking any of those guys on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Unless Al Horford really falls off the rails. And unless there's, again, goes back to how much Pritchard are you playing? Because Pritchard is kind of a programmed-in weak point.
Yeah.
He's like the only guy.
And
even Sam Hauser is like, he's not that bad defensively.
Yeah. I do feel like, well, first of all, I just wrote it down, like, with Hauser and Cornette and everybody, it does
Cornette.
it does feel like there's more guys on the floor where you're like, if you're comparing it to last season's Boston rotation, you're probably comfortable going at Hauser. You're like, okay, cool. Hauser, it's a guy. He's not terrible. He's definitely not Pritchard or Garland level that we're talking about, but it's still like a guy and everything. And Cornette's a similar way. We're like really good rim protector and does like the good stuff he does well. He does it at a high level, but not super duper mobile. If you get the Donovan Mitchell switch there, he's probably comfortable with that.
I couldn't really break through the Bulls rotation when he was there. Not sure. Not sure if that was a missed eye there. Missed eye for talent by Billy.
Jay Huff. Hey, Mike Malone, could I get some minutes? Fuck you.
With Jay Huff, it's like, God, why were they not playing this guy? With Luke Cornette, I don't know if anyone's saying that. I think everyone's just enjoying the ride. Be like, oh, he had a good game. Woo!
Woo! Yeah. So, fuck, I don't even know what I was saying there. I do just feel more. I feel like it would be such a good series if they matched up and the Celtics were playing at this level. Like I feel like you get a really competitive series then. But my brain, I'm like, okay, well, if the Celtics are like, serious punch level, then it does. I am worried if I'm the Cavs, even with the home court advantage and everything else. But if Porzingis goes down, I do think they're in like. If Porzingis goes down, the front court is like a mid-Horford series away from being extremely rough. Like, I don't like Xavier Tillman. Keita's good. Keita's fine. But that's not where you want to, like, default to being the big guy you're throwing out there all the time. And then Cornette's fine as well. It's not bad players. It's just a serious step down from, like, Porzingis and Horford.
I am worried about a Porzingis-less Celtics team going into a competent, like matching up against a competent Bucks team where Giannis could do some real damage. But Al Horford, we don't know. Could he still step up? He might still step up to the plate. He shut down Luka. He could still shut down Giannis, maybe.
Al Horford. Well, Trump froze all the funds, so Al Horford had to go to the Dominican Republic to get injected with adrenochrome. But I'm sure by the time the playoffs roll around, he'll be golden on that front. How would you feel? What are the standings right now? Let me see this, because I
got them pulled up.
So what are the Magic? They are, dude.
They're the 7th seed.
How would you feel if we got like 80%, 90% healthy Magic 2-7 matchup with the Celtics? When I say they probably get an easy first round series, that's the timeline where they don't. I feel like that the Celtics win, but I do feel like that could be a bitch of a series, and a series where they could see somebody get hurt for sure.
Honestly, that would be one of the teams I'm worried the least about. Because like a poor shooting series from the Celtics, like, God, we're only shooting 32%.
It's
from
mathematically impossible.
Or Orlando's on the other end going, guys, God, these guys can't miss. How can we catch up? We gotta make something to even this out. So yeah, you would have to like. That's like just throwing a bear punch at Gojo's infinity, the mathematical odds of defying that series. So they would definitely be one of the ones I'm worried about the least.
Huh. Okay. I mean, that's fair. I get not worrying just because of the 3-point math and everything. I do just feel like the Thunder's or the Magic's defense has a little sauce but
any Magic fans? I thought Suns could beat the Timberwolves last year. So.
Oh, that's fucking beautiful. That's the exact same thing. Bradley Beal's got something for Jaden McDaniels.
God, they stomped him 2 times in the last 2 weeks. And Karl Anthony Towns guarding on the perimeter. This is a disaster. Who did they have? They were putting Karl Anthony Towns on somebody.
It's probably
They did it in both games, and I was so worried about it. I think
was it like a ball handler?
It might have been Kevin Durant. I don't know.
I mean, that's not impossible.
They were doing something crazy, and then they switched it up. But also, I was like, what, Rudy Gobert's just going to hold up on switches for a series against Devin Booker and Kevin Durant?
You are
and then
a caveman.
And then he did.
I do remember, nobody will admit it now, but the 2 weeks before the playoffs last year, the vibes around the Suns were crazy. Everyone was like, oh, dude, this is the matchup they want. Minnesota does not have the offense to win a shootout like this.
Hey, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. Hey. I mean, hey, wait till we have Jimmy in the mix, Jimmy in the fold.
God.
And it's good actually. That Towns is in the East, because if they had a rematch, but Jimmy was on the Suns, he would punk Karl Towns
He's
psychologically. So yeah, he would tear him down psychologically.
Psychologically, he would be like, "Hey, remember that time I bullied you, and we're grown adult men? I win.
I win.
Okay, well, that's been an hour of Celtics rambling. Honestly, more fun than I thought, just to talk through. It is kind of like Gojo's been awake for 4 straight days, and this is now we're power scaling him after Toji stabbed him in the heart or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you have any final thoughts? Do you have any? Oh, I saw a real pain last night.
Oh, for the first time?
Yeah, I'd never seen it before. My girlfriend and I threw it on streaming. It was really good. I liked it a lot.
Pretty good.
It's very, I get why you liked it. Very like summer pilled kind of, beautiful trip.
It was the first time I've ever seen Poland look good.
I feel like Poland is such a layup to look good, and they're always just like, it's gray and concrete and sad, and it's like, no, most of Eastern Europe is like pretty nice if you get it in the sunshine. It's like grassy and everything.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, so some of the scenes in that movie made me so uncomfortable. Like
oh
when
my
he's
god, yeah.
when he's like when he's like yelling at the tour guide for
Yes.
not introducing them to Polish people. I'm like, oh no! And then the tour guide apologizes later. He's like, you're right. I'm like, no, he wasn't right.
Yeah, well,
but
like
yeah.
he snaps because he's like, you're not taking us to anywhere real. We're just going to touristy spots, and he's like, well, you are. It's just a tour. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my friends gave me my friends saw The Brutalist. What was your takeaway from The Brutalist? I forgot.
I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good, but
My
it was
friends explained to me their issues with it, and I was like, I'm definitely not going to see it. And so basically it boiled down to they told me he has like a black friend in the movie,
he does
right? And it's like 1950
Yeah.
or whatever, or what year, or 1940s.
Uh-huh.
And they like they're going through explaining his struggle of being a Jew at this time, and they never acknowledge the struggles that guy would be going
That
through.
guy's
at
name
all.
could genuinely be like Heroin Jimmy in the movie. Like we never there is no touch. That's like I would to call him a friend in like the scope of the movie. He's borderline like a helper. That is like a valid criticism of everything.
And yeah, so they said they go through the whole movie. They say there's never a moment where it's like, yeah, we're both going through racism and stuff like that.
Well, he
Like,
meets him
they
in
say-
the poverty food line, but beyond that,
Okay.
yeah. Oh, and
Yeah, but they
and at the beginning, like, there's a scene where he gets hired to do a surprise renovation for Guy Pearce's character named. It's his last name, Harrison Van Buren. So like, the name is supposed to. He's famous. Oh my God! Like, my name's Teddy, not Teddy Roosevelt, but like another famous like American guy. And
Vanderbilt.
yeah, so Van Buren pulls up to his house like a day and a half early while the surprise renovation is still going on, and the first thing he sees is Heroin Jimmy out front, like smoking a cigarette, and he storms in and he's like saying the N-word a bunch, and he's like, "This is what I'm terrified. I have my ill mother in the car, and she nearly had a heart attack."
But yeah, so they said there's never acknowledgement for that, and then they say that there's kind of like pro-Zionist messaging, sort of.
L interpretation.
Are you sure? Does he go to? He goes to Israel, right? And it's kind of like,
So the
is
way
it good when he goes to Israel?
No, first of all, we never go to Israel in the movie.
Oh, okay.
And the way I interpreted it was, there was a scene in the movie, where you're like it focuses. There's a shot where it focuses on like you're in a marble quarry, and it focuses on a big hole in the side of the marble wall. And it's like, okay, well, that's a hole within our character, this huge emotional damage inflicted by the Holocaust, which is like extremely real, obviously. And then it instantly cuts to like a time lapse of this giant, like the project that he's doing that in his mind will kind of fill that emotional damage and everything. And it's so to me, I interpreted that as like the big overarching point about Israel, which is like ultimately it's like this pointless pursuit that did nothing but like really hurt everybody involved in pursuit of like kind of making up for the Holocaust and everything. But I mean, I don't know. My girlfriend's fucking shaking her head off screen at me now. So like, I don't know. I didn't interpret it as like pro-Zionist messaging. But they, at the end of the, I mean, there's like a pro-Zionist lady speaking for him as he's like disabled in a wheelchair. So if they like
that was another one of that was their last big issue is I guess that's his niece, right?
Yes.
Speaking, and they say like they said it was a completely different actress, and you don't realize that that's who that's supposed to be, and then they they thought it was lame that the niece was then then they show that woman's child, and it's the actress who was playing the niece the whole time, so it was like needlessly confusing.
I did not get confused by that point. I swear to God, they like said something like, "It's his niece. She's here to talk." And then the lady got up, and I was like, I don't know. I followed it the whole time. It didn't like. It was good. I liked it. But I've said before, I'll never watch it again. Like it was so long. And some movies that are really long, I loved Killers of the Flower Moon. That's like the other, like last year, watched that. Fucking flew by. No intermission, 3.5 hours. I had like a good time the entire time. And I would watch that again. But this, there was not really anything here where I was like, fuck, I gotta rehash this. It was really complex the first time.
Well, guys, comment down below your brutalist takes. I won't be seeing it.
Comment down below how you feel about Kieran Culkin's bracelets. He has like 1 million bracelets on his arm all the time. So let us know if your
Did Kieran Culkin sleep with that woman?
Oh yeah, come on, dude. I've never met two just like incredibly emotionally damaged people in Europe together. Oh, we just hung out all night. Yeah, okay, pal. Whatever.
They're just hanging out. They're probably watching Jeremy Sohan national team.
Yo. Shout out to Kevin O'Connor for using an AI image of De'Aaron Fox. Kind of like the Brutalist, I guess. Kevin O'Connor, the Brutalist.
Where?
He posted
on Twitter?
Yeah, and it's like it's a picture of De'Aaron Fox, but his teeth are gums still. And so that was off-putting. But it's him in a Spurs.
Was that the point?
No, the point was that he's in a Spurs jersey. He used it as like the picture for his hypothetical De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs trade, but yeah, it's just like an ugly looking picture for the most part.
Lay down a list of what is wrong, things you told